Welcome to week 1 of the Roller Dice Premier League. Here are the fixtures for this week. Some interesting games. Our first feature game is going to be Leicester versus Man United. Over to Callum.
It's 5-2 to Manchester United.
Our next feature game is going to be Southampton versus Man City.
Southampton versus Man City. 5-4.
Our next feature game is going to be a London derby between Arsenal and Fulham.
Arsenal versus Fulham. Oh, it's a draw.
Respectable draw. Our final game is going to be champions Liverpool versus West Brom. Over to you, Callum.
West Brom versus Liverpool. And it's a win.
Now let's have a look at the best of results and then go to the table. As you can see, here's what the table looks like. We've got Aston Villa at the top spot at the minute. Man United, Tottenham and Leeds make up the top 4. Burnley, Leicester, West Ham and almost half the field haven't got points as of yet. Liverpool mid-table. Let's move on to week number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're at week 2 of Roller Dice. Now this is completely random. Here are the fixtures for this week. Our first feature game is going to be Tottenham Hotspur versus Man United. Over to you, Callum.
Tottenham versus Man United. It's a 4-1 win for Man United.
And it's another win for United. Incredible. Our next game is going to be champions Liverpool versus Leeds.
Liverpool versus Leeds. It's a 4-2 win for Leeds.
Our next game is going to be Newcastle versus Arsenal.
Newcastle versus Arsenal. It's a 3-1 win for Newcastle.
And Arsenal fall to a loss under Arteta. And our final feature game this week is going to be Brighton versus West Brom.
Brighton versus West Brom. It's a 6-1 win for Brighton.
Let's have a look at the best of the rest and then let's look at the table. As you can see, here is the table. We've got Brighton, Leeds, Chelsea, Man United, all teams that haven't lost yet. Burnley, Crystal Palace, West Brom and Man City still haven't got a win. Liverpool, Tottenham mid-table. Let's move on to week number 3. So here are the fixtures for week number 3 of Roller Dice Premier League. Our first feature game is going to be Wolves versus Sheffield United.
Wolves versus Sheffield United. It's a 4-1 win for Wolves.
And it's Wolves who get their second win of the season. Our next feature game, the Manchester Derby.
Man United versus Man City. It's a 2-1 win for Man United.
And it's another win for Man United. They are climbing up the table. Man City still without a win. Our next feature game is going to be a London derby between Chelsea and Fulham.
Chelsea versus Fulham. It's a 3-3 draw.
Our final feature game is going to be Arsenal versus West Brom.
And Arsenal versus West Brom. It's a 4-1 win.
Arsenal get their first win of the season against West Brom. Let's have a look at the best of the rest and then let's go to the table. Here is what the table looks like at the present minute. Man United and Leeds, the only 2 teams that have a 100% record. West Brom and Manchester City still without a win. Liverpool, Arsenal in the mid-table. Tottenham near the bottom. Let's see how it goes in week number 4. So here are the fixtures for week number 4 of Roller Dice Premier League. Now things are starting to get interesting now. Teams are starting to go up, teams are starting to go down. Our first feature game this week is going to be Manchester City versus Tottenham.
Man City versus Tottenham. That's a 2-1 win for Tottenham.
And it's a 2-1 win for Tottenham. Man City just can't buy a win. They just can't get a win. Our next game is the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton.
Liverpool versus Everton. That's a 4-4 draw.
Our third feature game is going to be Newcastle versus Chelsea. Callum.
Newcastle versus Chelsea. That's a 4-2 win for Newcastle.
Newcastle with the win. Chelsea are near the top 4, but they might not be anymore. Our final feature game is the Midlands derby between West Brom and Aston Villa. Callum.
West Brom versus Aston Villa. It's a 5-1 win for West Brom.
Let's have a look at the best of the rest and then let's go to the table. So, 4 games down, Man United sit top of the league. 3 points clear of Brighton. Leeds make up the top 4, Newcastle make up the top 4, Arsenal climbing up there, Chelsea drop down. Man City still the only team without a win. Let's go on to week number 5 now. Now here we are at week number 5, here are the fixtures. Our first feature game is going to be Leicester versus Manchester City. Man City haven't won a game yet.
Leicester versus Man City. That is a 4-1 win for Man City.
They finally get 3 points. Yay! Our next feature game is going to be Manchester United versus Liverpool. A big game. Can Liverpool be the first team to defeat Man United this season?
Man United versus Liverpool. That is a 6-4 win for Liverpool.
Manchester United get their first loss of the season in Roller Dice Premier League. Our next feature game is going to be Everton versus Brighton. Both teams, one at the top, one at the bottom. And it's Brighton near the top, Everton near the bottom.
Everton versus Brighton. That is a 6-5 win for Brighton.
Our final game is going to be Southampton versus Arsenal. Arsenal, mid-table kind of team. Southampton, mid-table kind of team. Let's see who gets the win. Callum.
Southampton versus Arsenal. That is a 5-3 win for Southampton.
And it's Southampton doing the business on the dice roll. Arsenal, mid-table, just like right now. Let's have a look at the best of the rest and then let's go to the table. As you can see, we have a new leader at the top of the table. Brighton lead the league with Man United still in second. Southampton make up the top 4. Chelsea, Tottenham, 4th and 5th respectively. Liverpool, Arsenal in mid-table. Crystal Palace now dropped to the bottom of the league. Manchester City and Everton fighting for relegation. Let's see how we go down in week number 6. So here we are, week number 6. Here are the fixtures for week number 6. Our first featured game from this list is going to be Tottenham in 5th place, Liverpool in the mid-table. Let's see how they get on.
Liverpool versus Tottenham. That is a 4-4 draw.
Another draw, very goal scoring draw that one. Let's move on to our next feature game. It's going to be Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle near the top, Wolves near the bottom.
Newcastle versus Wolves. That is a 5-4 win for Newcastle.
And it's another win for Newcastle. Incredible. Our next feature game is going to be Man United versus Brighton. Both teams at the top of the leaderboard. Now this could be key.
Brighton versus Man United. That is a 6-4 win to Man United.
The dice roll is favouring them if they're home or away at the minute. Our final feature game is going to be Leeds versus Chelsea. Both teams in the top 8. Let's see how they get on.
Leeds versus Chelsea. That is a 2-2 draw.
And it's a respectable draw for both teams. Let's see the best of the rest and then let's go and have a look at the table. So as you can see, here is the table for week number 6. Man United sit top of the league by 3 points. Brighton, Newcastle, Chelsea make up the top 4 with Arsenal on the outside, Tottenham in 8th, Leeds, Liverpool in the mid-table, Crystal Palace, West Brom and Everton make up the bottom 3. Manchester City climbing up the table. So we are at the end of part 1. 6 games down, 6 more to go in part 2. Please vote up above how long you want this series to be, whether you want it to be in 2 parts, 4 parts, 6 parts. Let me know by voting above here. Without further ado, people, like the video, subscribe down below if you're new. I've been Callum WM, and I'll see you next week on Roller Dice Premier League. Peace out.